got something special planned for you today. I've been bursting at the seams to share, and this felt like the perfect time and place to do it. Okay, so here's a little story for you. On November 1st at 11:07 p.m., I sent this message to my assistant, and she knows she doesn't have to respond, obviously, at 11:07 p.m. I've been binging content from this email marketing guy, and I am toying with taking the Insider to a weekly format, running it like the podcast, schedule it out in advance, and the format would be an inside look and one big takeaway from a coaching call. So I would look at all my coaching call transcripts for endless ideas. And then a few days later, Monday morning at 7:16 a.m., FYI, I'm still into the weekly newsletter idea, even in the light of day. I'm doing a lot of research and I want to be very strategic about it, just like we've been with the podcast. And by the end of the day, I had the first 5 issues written and scheduled. You know, there have been some very exciting things that have happened in my business recently, passing 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. Absolutely mind-blowing the amazing community I found there and how many of you I get to interact with there. I'm posting more videos there, feeling really energized by this podcast and answering your questions. And there's one thing I noticed that was doing really, really well in my LinkedIn content, and that was me sharing an inside look at my coaching calls or Google Ads account audits. You love that. You engage with that. I even like presenting it as a challenge. What do you think happened here? And I thought, I have so much of this. I've done more than 300 coaching calls since I started my business. I have transcripts for most of them. Why don't I share more of that with you? I'm your host, Jyll Saskin Gales. I spent 6 years working for big brands at Google, and now I work for you. This is Inside Google Ads, episode 44, How to Launch a New Product with Google Ads, a special episode where I give you a sneak peek at my forthcoming weekly Google Ads newsletter, The Insider. To give you an idea of what this new newsletter is going to be about, I'm actually going to read you what will end up being the first issue in January. So, hot sneak peek for you. Here it is. How to launch a new product with Google Ads. I've launched many products and services since starting my business in 2021. I know firsthand how challenging and overwhelming it is to put together a marketing strategy for a new offer. How do you reach the right audience and generate interest? I recently worked with a client, let's call her Sarah. She was an in-house marketer at an established brand, and she was tasked with preparing to launch a new product at a higher price point and a different target audience than her company's usual offerings. Sarah and I met regularly. Her company paid. Nice, right? And during this Google Ads coaching call, she wanted to discuss this challenge: how to best utilize Google Ads to reach a new market segment. While there are many different ways to reach your ideal customer with Google Ads, I told Sarah that it all comes down to 2 complementary approaches: a search-based strategy and an audience-based strategy. First, the search-based strategy, targeting relevant keywords that potential customers might be searching for. I won't reveal Sarah's industry, so as an example, let's say that her company sold backpacks for school-age kids, and the new product launch was leather backpacks for adults. Still backpacks, but completely different value proposition. With this example, relevant keywords might be leather backpack, commuting backpack, or stylish backpack for adults. We also discussed the importance of creating content that answers potential customers' questions about the new product. For example, blog posts or articles about the benefits of backpacks versus briefcases, how to choose the right backpack, etc. Next is an audience targeting strategy, targeting specific types of people who are likely to be interested in your new product, even if they're not actively searching for it. I walked Sarah through Google's in-market, life event, affinity, and detailed demographic audiences so she could understand how to reach people who are most likely to be receptive to her offer. For example, continuing with the hypothetical backpack example, we could target business professionals, commuters, or luxury shoppers. There are many different types of campaigns you can use to execute an audience-based strategy: video, display, and demand gen. Each campaign type has its own strengths and weaknesses. We evaluated them together, and I made a recommendation for her business. Sarah left our coaching session with a clear roadmap to leverage Google Ads for her new product launch. She was able to implement a multifaceted strategy that combined search and audience targeting, ensuring she reached the right customers at the right time for this new product. What do you think so far? This is something a little different, right? Here's what you can do to launch a new product successfully with Google Ads. First, know your audience. Before diving into campaign creation, define who your ideal customer is for this new product. What are their demographics, interests, and online behaviors? By focusing on the customer first, it will make the rest of campaign development so much easier. Next, develop a holistic strategy. The obvious starting point is search campaigns, advertising on relevant keywords. But what if people aren't searching for what you offer? Or what if there's a lot of competition? Taking an audience-based approach or a non-linear approach can be effective too. And third, attract your ideal customer's attention. Craft compelling ad copy and helpful content that resonates with your target audience. I'll put a stake in the ground and say that your creative is more important than your targeting. Don't leave the ad content as an afterthought. And here's a gem from Jyll. Your ad creative is more important than your ad targeting. You've got to grab attention. Spend at least as much time on your creative strategy as your targeting strategy. Just like Sarah, you can confidently launch your new product with Google Ads. Book a call with me and let's build your Google Ads strategy together. All right, that is going to be an early January issue of The Insider. And in every newsletter, I'll share one coaching story or audit story, explain what we did, and not just, Google Ads, what happened, but how I found the problem, how I guided my client to what could be helpful for them. Each issue will always end with what you can do, just like this client, and where applicable, highlighting a little gem from Jyll. If you'd like to get The Insider in your inbox every Tuesday, you can sign up for free at free.jyll.ca. That's free.jyll.ca, or follow the link in the episode description. The first issue is going out next week on December 3rd, 2024, and it's called, Is Your Business Too Reliant on Google Ads? I'm Jyll Saskin Gales, and I'll see you next week inside Google Ads.